Now, you're kind of known throughout the area, not only as a wonderful chef who can create magical things, but the magical things that you can do with a watermelon. So I thought it might be fun, since you brought two today to talk to us about, if you could just share how you got started carving watermelons. I think I asked you once, people always carve pumpkins, but you took it another step and went with watermelons.
Well, I get asked a lot why if I carve pumpkins. I have done quite a few different pumpkins, but there's 4 reasonings why I like watermelon versus pumpkins. One, it's orange, orange, and orange with a pumpkin versus green, white, and red with a watermelon. And then the skin is a little bit more firm on a pumpkin, so I tend to cut myself a little bit more often on a pumpkin. And then there's ridges in a pumpkin versus a flat surface on the watermelon. And my number 1 reasoning for watermelons versus pumpkins, I can get watermelons all year round. I can only get them out of the quarter of the year for the pumpkins. So that's my number 1 reasoning.
They all make sense, yes.
Exactly. Now, how I got started, that's a real question that you asked. I was pretty young, and my grandmother, actually, God rest her soul, she went on a cruise to Germany, and she picked up a garnishing book from the trip, actually 2 of them. And this book is very special to me. So this is what she brought back, and in that book, there was this watermelon. I got goosebumps right now even thinking about this watermelon. This is why I started watermelon sculptures. I kept looking at this picture, and I wanted to do it so bad. And on Easter one day, or a year, my sous chef carved a watermelon into a bunny. And honestly, George is a fantastic chef, great artist actually, but the bunny looked like Bullwinkle. So I thought I could do a little bit better, so I went and bought a watermelon the very next day, and I came up with this watermelon because I really wanted to do it. And still to this day, I have a whole picture collage of my watermelons, and that's on there, and everybody refers right back to my very first one. So I started, and I right now, to date, I don't know exact count, but it's roughly about 1,400 watermelon sculptures that I've done.
Wow.
Which is kind of ridiculous.
And so, you didn't, like most people, pick out a pattern that was just a little bit of carving. You took something so detailed and so impressive. That is just amazing.
Thank you.
I'm sure you have a system of how you go about doing watermelons. First of all, do you look for certain size or a weight, or what determines the pick, how you select the watermelon?
I was actually at a Woodman's down in Sun Prairie just a few days ago, and these watermelons that you're seeing right here, I couldn't pass them up. They were the most perfect watermelons I've ever had the pleasure of carving, so I just grabbed them out and put them in the cart, and I didn't know what I was going to carve out of them, but I had to do something. So that's the first one I did, and last night I ended up at about 3 o'clock in the morning carving this one, the VW bus. Yeah, we'll get them together so it's a little bit better for you.
Whoops, yep.
So depends on what I'm doing. Like if I'm doing an Eiffel Tower, as there's a picture over here, I look for a little bit larger, longer watermelon, and that watermelon was absolutely humongous. Now, there has been some specialty carvings that I've done. Kind of something special was the U.S. Open last year. I was honored to be the watermelon sculptures and one of the lead chefs for the U.S. Open. At the Open, I did 17 sculptures, and that was kind of an honor. And I had 5 watermelons specially grown for me, for my produce company. And those 5, I actually had about 25 total, but 5 of them were about 55 pounds each.
Wow.
So those were absolutely humongous. And one of them took me 15 and a half hours to carve. This one right here, I get asked all the time how long it takes me. This one is about 3.5 hours, almost 4 hours of carving, and this one was about 4 to 4.5. So that's,
and
yeah.
You never do sketches ahead of time, right? Do you just pick up the knife and start carving, or do you have to do a sketch out, like if somebody requests something specific?
If there's a special request, like this VW bus, I have to have a picture in front of me. If it's detailed like that, I look at a picture and I kind of outline it a little bit, but other than that, it's an X-Acto knife. That's another question I asked, what tools I use? Yeah. X-Acto knife, that's really about all I use, and then the finished product, I do have wood carving tools I use a lot. This one right here, all I did was pick the center where I wanted to start, and then I drew a circle around, and then for the leaves, I kind of just put dots with a pen, and then I just started hacking away pretty much, and that's what I came up with.
Now, the leaves that are on here,
Yep.
are they from this watermelon?
It is. It's all
you
one piece.
You didn't take it from another watermelon?
Each leaf is from this section out here. So each one is the remains from this section that I cut out. So it is all one piece.
And it's so beautiful and so detailed. It's just amazing and incredible, and how you can see with an artist's eye to keep the green and to have the white and the pink
That's the trickiest
and
part of the
deeper
whole
into the
process.
red. Yes, yeah. Very amazing.